Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from IPR365.com and PodWeather.com with an update on the tropics. And we do have Hurricane Bill out there. Taking a look at the Atlantic right now, it is a large and powerful Category 4 hurricane, continuing to progress right on up towards the northwest now, and it is expected to eventually make an even more northwesterly curve generally like that and remain away from the northern islands, the Bahamas, and the East Coast. But Bermuda is going to be dangerously close to the center of what is now an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane, a classic Cape Verde hurricane. There's the eye just crossing 20 north there, continuing on that west-northwest to northwest track. Now, the latest on Hurricane Bill at this hour, it is at 19.8 north, 57.6 west. Winds are 135 miles an hour, gusting to 160, so it is a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, moving northwest at 19. 947 millibars, so the pressure has gotten a little lower since recon's been in there earlier today. And again, it is expected to remain a strong Category 4 hurricane, maybe even getting up towards 145 miles an hour, continuing on off towards the west-northwest, and then northwest, and then north-northwest by Saturday, and then making that quick turn north, and then finally off towards the northeast even quicker, and potentially affecting the Canadian Maritimes, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia on this track Sunday afternoon, it'll still be a Category 2 hurricane. And if you remember Hurricane Juan back in 2003, that made landfall with winds of 100 miles an hour along the coast of Nova Scotia. Category 2 landfall there. So this is definitely dangerous. This does show you on the East Coast, by the way, that at the latitude it's still expected to be a major hurricane. That could be the latitude of New Jersey. So one of these days, New Jersey, as it has over 100 years ago, will get hit by a powerful major hurricane. And even a Category 4 status as far north as the Georgia, South Carolina region, Hugo. Hazel in North Carolina was a Cat 4. One of these days we're going to have something like this that will not turn out and might slam right in via Isabel, but maybe even stronger. So, yeah, remember what Isabel did? Well, multiply that by about 2, and that could be what happens sometime. But luckily, not going to happen with Hurricane Bill, as Bill will continue on and make that classic turn as a long-tracked and strong Cape Verde hurricane. Here is the model guidance with the hurricane, and you can see it is continuing on towards the northwest now. If it continued that motion through 5 days, in about 3.5 days, and make landfall near Charleston, South Carolina. But that's not going to happen because we do have a weakness, and the large long wave trough is coming off the coast, and that's going to push Bill right on up and out. Now, the models have kind of shifted a little more westerly here, which is why the track was moved a little more west. That's good news for Bermuda, but not so good news for Nova Scotia up here, and many models have it making landfall there, and it shouldn't be extratropical before it gets there, to whereas it would be large and elongated and not powerful. So it still could be a very large and tightly coiled Category 1 or 2 hurricane by the time it makes it there. Very dangerous. You can see, actually I want to go back to the frame of the satellite. There is Hurricane Bill. Look at that donut there. It appears that there might be a break there in the northeast eye wall, which might be indicative of a little bit of weakening there, but still maintaining classic structure. And boy, if this thing had been a little bit further south and there hadn't been a weakness, right now where this eye is, it might be right over the northern islands. So be thankful in the islands that Bill did not hit you, because damage would have been comparable to Luis in '95, maybe even worse, with the very powerful Category 4 hurricane. There goes Bill. First hurricane of the season, first major hurricane, continuing that motion to the northwest. Now, back to the waves off Africa. There is a wave that left. There should be one in a few days that's going to move off that some of the models are showing could get cranking. And one of the models, the long-range GFS, has it moving rather far north, but a ridge rebuilds and pushes it more towards Florida. And so that would be by the first couple of days of September that we'd have to deal with that. Long way out, take it with a grain of salt, and we'll see if there is consistency. Keep in mind that long-range GFS showed a Category 4 Hurricane Bill about a week and a half before today, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Out in the western Pacific, we do have Typhoon Vamco, and it's 105 miles an hour, 125 mile per hour gusts. It's only moving north at 2. It's forecast to become a Category 4 typhoon by Friday and remain out over water. However, looking at the latest satellite image of it, you can see that tiny pinhole eye. It could be a lot stronger than 105 miles an hour. In fact, it could even be a Category 4 as we speak. We'll wait and see what's happening. That convection there, that gray convection, is indicative of a very, very powerful hurricane. And that tiny eye, when that pressure gets low inside an eye that tiny, you get very, very ferocious winds. So Typhoon Vamco continuing very slowly off to the north, not expected to hit land. Well, that's the latest on the hurricanes out there. Hurricane Bill, Typhoon Vamco. Hurricane Bill, an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane that continues its march on off towards the west-northwest. Stay tuned to IPR365.com and podweather.com for the latest.